You're listening to The Creative Imposter. I'm multimodal media strategist, podcast producer, educator, and your host, Andrea Klunder. And I'm here to support you, the creative visionary who wants to make a positive cultural impact in the way that you live and work. Last week, I offered you 3 things for your creative resistance toolkit. One of those things was a live event called Show and Tell for Grownups here in Chicago. And this week, I have brought you the human behind the event, Mary Doctor of Tell Me Why It's Cool. Mary and I are talking about audience participation and setting effective rules of engagement, i.e. how not to be a dick, creating a welcome environment for strangers, joy, fun, and conversation to combat the uncertainty of the future, startup mentality, resilience, and what to do when it gets hard. And I may or may not have left in a brief conversation about AI and art and content creation. I can't remember. I think I blocked it out. Oh, and at some point in this episode, Mary makes a reference to chicken. It made me think of how I used to teach yoga to kindergarten and pre-K kids after school, and we would sometimes run around the room and pretend to be different animals. One time, we randomly were talking about what everyone wanted to eat for dinner when they got home, and an adorable 4-year-old said chicken. And I said, "Ooh, let's all be chickens," and proceeded to flap my chicken wings and make the appropriate sounds, but they didn't join in this time. And I said, "Why aren't we being chickens?" And the 4-year-old said with big round eyes, "No, the chicken you eat." And I said, "Yeah, chicken is a bird on a farm." And another child chimes in, "No, it's not." And then I realized my mistake. These innocent little Catholic school humans, of course, knew that a chicken was a bird on a farm. And they knew that sometimes you eat chicken for dinner, but they had not yet put together that each of those chickens was one and the same. I think I traumatized a room full of 3 to 5-year-olds. I thought for sure I was going to get parent comments for that one. Now, I didn't bring up this story during our live stream. That's why I'm telling you now, because it seemed off topic, but I told Mary afterward and she thought it was hilarious and seemed to think it made perfect sense in the context of what she was talking about. So you'll have to listen for the chicken reference yourself and see if you agree. In fact, I was kind of tempted to title this episode, Changing Perspectives from Dead Bird to Grilled Chicken. But anyway, you can find links, of course, to the resources mentioned in the show notes, in this episode's description, in your listening app, and at thecreativeimposter.com. We will also include links to our YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram, where we are streaming new conversations for creativity and media as Resistance on Thursdays at 3:00 p.m. Central. This month, I'll be hosting live streams on kind of a funky schedule, August 14th and 28th. But the 7th and 21st will be off due to production, travel, and podcast movement. I wanted to mention also that if you are enthralled with this episode and the idea of Show and Tell for Grownups and happen to be in the Chicago area Tuesday, August 12, please come hear my 5-minute story, as well as a bunch of other fabulous presenters at Show and Tell for Grownups at Snakes and Lattes. You will, of course, want to buy tickets in advance because these shows do sell out. Also, I am currently looking for new guests for this series of The Creative Imposter for September and October 2025. So if you or someone you know is using their creativity and or media platform as resistance to the current administration's agenda, I'd love to hear about it. Send an email to andrea@thecreativeimposter.com or DM me on LinkedIn. And one more thing, if you are podcasting but feeling like it's time for a content glow up, or if you're a content creator dreaming of adding podcasting to the mix, but wondering if it's really right for you, I have a new offer launching this fall with a very limited number of spots available between September and November 2025 called Find Your Light. It's a creative content ecosystem audit for cultural impact. Say that 25 times fast. No, don't do that. It'll help you get off the never-ending content hamster wheel and find the optimal positioning for growing your visibility and getting your voice heard. To get on my waitlist for Find Your Light, no obligation, just opportunities and vibes, go to thecreativeimposter.com/find your light. Again, that's thecreativeimposter.com/find your light, and you'll be the first to hear the details and be offered a spot on my fall calendar. Okay, are we ready? From dead bird to grilled chicken, here's Mary Doctor of Tell Me Why It's Cool. Okay,
we're live.
Going live. We're going live. Hi.
Andrea, can I be honest? This is my first time going live with another human, so this is exciting.
Amazing. Can I be honest? This is my first time with a full 3-camera setup in my private office podcast studio. The Instagram sometimes plays nicely with us and sometimes not. So it appears to be working at this moment. So yay. Do you know why? It's because Mary posted on Instagram right before going live to tell people to join us. So you appeased the meta gods.
For sure. Yeah. That is what we do here, is we just appease the meta gods so that they like us, so that they will continue to do things.
Absolutely. Okay, so we are live with Creativity and Media as Resistance on The Creative Imposter. I am here with the fabulous Mary Doctor, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I met Mary. So a couple of months ago, my friend Isabel Rizzo, who was on The Creative Imposter a long time ago, sent me a text and she's like, hey, if you're free on this night, come to this thing. And it was called Show and Tell for Grownups. And then because Isabel was part of it, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I didn't know what to expect exactly. And I came into Talia Hall, which is in the Pilsen neighborhood in Chicago. And we went into like the little sneaky back room that I didn't know existed. And there's about 30 or so people gathered. It was like buzzy, like anticipation. It was very exciting. I still didn't know what was going to happen. Sit down in the audience. Our tech director, Edwin, was with me. And what proceeded to happen is this very energetic, bubbly, fun woman comes up on stage and introduces herself and tells us how the evening is going to go, gets everybody excited. And then we get these little mini presentations on topics of everything from people pirating Trader Joe's products in Canada, which was one of my favorite stories because I adore Trader Joe's, to designing the perfect charcuterie board.
Oh, yes.
And my favorite part about that presentation is that the audience gets to ask questions after the presentation. And somebody asked, this will forever stick in my mind, if Lunchables count as charcuterie. And I was like, oh, I am at once nostalgic for Lunchables and also impressed that Lunchables can be charcuterie. So it was just this really fun, casual event. People were participating, people were laughing. And one other thing that I want to say about that night is that you had the best rule for our participation. Do you know which rule I am going to say is the best rule?
Is it rule number 1?
I don't know what number it was, but it's the best.
Okay. Well, rule number 1 of Show and Tell for Grownups is don't be a chard.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. And for those of you that couldn't really hear me, I did say Chard because Chard is short for Richard, which is long for Dick. So my rule number 1 of Show and Tell for Grownups is don't be a dick, but it's a PG-13 show. And therefore we say don't be a chard. And so what that embodies is like, it sets the tone for the rest of the evening, because what we try to do is we build this beautiful little world in whatever space that we're taking over that day. And the world is all about acceptance and inviting people to be themselves, but also to share and have fun and learn. Everything about Show and Tell for Grownups is asking people to tell me why something is cool, so that then the people in the audience can learn about that subject and then also ask their own questions. It's a really wholesome, wonderful night that I dreamed of making happen, and now we're over a year in and it's working and it's growing, and I'm really, really proud of what I've built.
And how did this idea come to be? How, where, when you were sitting under a tree and no, I don't know.
Well, let's set the scene. It was early 2024 when I was sitting in my studio apartment alone, scrolling through Instagram/TikTok, I don't remember which. And I was doing this deep dive into this one creator who, there were two that I was like kind of obsessed with at the moment. There was one that was an automated dairy farm. And this man posted so many videos about how his dairy farm works and how the cows like it because they do this and like how the machine works. I learned so much about dairy farming with this man and I had so many questions, but like I'm not a person that like writes to other people on the internet. And so I'm like, my one comment is not going to get an answer, right? Because this guy has like thousands and millions, I don't know how many followers.
A lot of people into dairy farming.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There are lots of them. And I was like, shoot, I wish that I could ask him questions, but it's the internet, so I can't. And then another time I was sitting at home alone. I was diving into how like custom suits are made in England. And it was fascinating because there's one person that takes the measurements. There's one person that makes the pattern. There's one person that cuts and only cuts. The other person sews and only sews. And it was just this huge system that I had never known about. Again, I had questions. I wanted to talk to them. But again, I'm sitting at home alone. And I'm like, wait a minute. I live in one of the best cities in the world. I live in Chicago. There have to be people here that are also doing cool stuff like this that I could talk to. And so I reached out to friends of mine who I knew were brilliant engineers and designers and just creative people. And I said, hey, if I gave you 5 minutes and an audience of people to tell me why something is cool, would you want to do that? And they were like, yeah, sure, I'll come. And then I went to a bunch of other people and I was like, hey, people are going to take 5 minutes to tell us why something is cool. And then you can ask them any questions you want as long as they're like PG-13 questions and like nice questions. Do you want to come? And then people started showing up. My first venue, I think we had 27 seats sold out of 35 seats. So that was like the most amazing first show I could have ever dreamed of. And then it just kept going from there.
So for that first show, what was going through, can you even remember, what was going through your mind like before the show? Were you worried about whether people were going to like it? Like you knew people were coming.
Uh-huh. Okay. I love that the show is about creative imposter. I was recently at a panel discussion where one of the panelists said, to make it in this world, all you have to do is have the audacity. And so getting ready for that first show, I was just like, I'm going to have the audacity. And then I made it happen. So whether I am delusional or confident, I don't know which one you want to call it, but that is why. I got on stage and I was like, well, these are my rules. Don't be a chard, meet new friends, and pay attention to timing and be a teammate. Great, let's go have fun and learn something. And for some reason, I just knew that it was going to work. And I just keep telling myself, it's going to work, and it has.
One thing that I liked about this event is the presenters are part of the audience and the audience can become presenters. Everybody is all in it together. There's not like a differentiation between who is coming up and talking for 5 minutes about something they're passionate about. It's not a sales pitch. It's not, you might be an expert on the topic, but you're not like, hi, I'm an expert on the topic here to teach you how to do this topic or something.
Yeah.
What's been the feedback from participants?
Yeah. One of the things that I also put in any of my marketing materials is that you don't need a PhD to be knowledgeable about this topic. And the audience knows that. So like, if you're going to come and teach us about astrophysics, you don't have to be an astrophysicist, which means you might get some things wrong because there might be an astrophysicist in the audience. And that is okay. That's one of the things about like, have the audacity. Don't be afraid. We create this world where everybody's here to have fun, learn something, support each other. And so that's also why don't be a chard is the number one rule. Because if there is an astrophysicist in the audience and they disagree with you on stage, I welcome that as long as they can say it in a nice way so that we're all being encouraging. So yeah, I truly believe that if someone is passionate about a subject, that passion and that excitement for it comes across and gets other people excited about it. So some of the feedback that I get from audience members that are like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun, but I could never get on that stage. No, I don't do anything that's interesting. People are not interested in the things that I'm interested in. I'm like, but are you interested in them? Are you passionate about them? Because I'm pretty positive that if you can get up and be excited about something, everyone in that room will also be excited with you. But I also don't force people to participate because, I mean, I'm guessing a lot of people have had jobs where they have those like HR departments where they make you have fun together, right? Like where they're
Icebreakers.
exactly. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't like icebreaker questions. What I want to know is like, what is something that you're really excited about right now? What did you research last that you didn't know about before, but now you're stoked that you know it?
Hot tip for the audience. If you are going to a networking event or a conference or something like that, don't ask what somebody does or where they work.
Yeah.
Ask them something that they're really excited about in their life or work right now. And people will like pause because it's not the question that they're expecting. But I think most people like that because it's like, oh, if I'm at a conference, having a more interesting opening question immediately creates an opportunity for a connection.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that I noticed at that event was people did talk to each other. Strangers talked to each other. And it wasn't in some weird forced thing where it's like, no, we're all going to turn to our I mean, you did do a turn to your neighbor.
I did, but it's because we need to open the scene being like, yo, this is what you're used to is someone saying, ask the person next to you a get to know you question. I hate it, but we got to do it because some people need that opening, okay? We try to switch it up. Do you remember what the question was
No
that
idea.
night? I don't remember either. But we try to switch up those questions depending on the theme of the show, the venue, or stuff like that. So like the last one that we did was at the Surgical Science Museum. Mm-hmm. So the International Museum of Surgical Science. We go there every couple of months. We love it there. We love them. Shout out. But the last question was, if you could be friends with any fictional doctor from like a TV show or a book or something, who would you be friends with and why? And so that just gets people thinking about stuff in different ways, right? And somebody said that they would be friends with Doctor Who. And I was like, great. Tell me why, because I do not know anything about Doctor Who, but I bet you do, so please tell me more. And yeah, so that, again, that just starts a conversation in a different way. So yes, we have to do one get to know you question. It invites people to turn to their neighbor and say something. One of my favorite things, like I got so excited when you just mentioned that people were talking. Like, I know, it makes me so incredibly happy because sometimes people will come to the show by themselves. And I try to talk to people before the show. That's why I always say that doors open 30 minutes before the actual show starts because I want people in the space. I want people to get to know each other. Also, I want to get to know the people. So I try really hard to go and talk to just about every group that is there. And a lot of times there are people that are just sitting by themselves and things like that. So I always try really hard to go talk to them because I'm like, how did you find it? So stoked you're here. Do you not know anybody? Sweet. I don't know these people either. Do you? Let me help. Like, this is my job. This is what I do. All this to say that it is a huge moment of pride for me when the person that came alone because they're new to the city and they want to get out of the house, when that person comes to that show, makes a friend, and then they show up at the next one, and then they come to another one. And then, like, within 2 months, they've been to multiple shows, and then they come to one of I host hangouts, because during the shows, people are watching and learning, but you also get to start conversations, right? But you don't have time to finish them. So I host monthly hangouts where we go to a bar or a restaurant. Sometimes we'll even just, like, go to a park, and we'll hang out. No structure, other than that we are all cool people who are not Chards, who want to meet new friends and learn cool stuff. So yeah, those people will just keep coming and they'll meet new friends and then they'll be like, yeah, I'm actually getting dinner with that person that I met at that first night because we both found out that we really like seashells. I don't know, something like that. That's what we do here.
Shifting a little bit, we've been talking about why show and tell for grownups is cool. Mm-hmm. And what's great about it and how fun it is and engagement. But this series is creativity and media as resistance. And some of the guests that I've been having on are directly involved in some kind of government podcast or diversity, equity, and inclusion or activism or something that is directly related to the social political moment that we are in right now in the United States. I don't know if anyone ever pitches or does any political political type topics?
So it's actually specifically in the rules that for anybody that's bringing a subject to show and tell, one of the rules for the presenters themselves is your topic must ignite interest, not fuel fires. And so if what we're talking about is something that you think is really, really cool, and if you think something that's cool is either racist or homophobic or sexist or political or religious, this is not the platform for you. I don't want to create a platform for people to pontificate about something that they feel so strongly about and that they're not willing to see the other side about it.
Yeah.
That's not what we're here for. What we're here for is we are here to learn things and to listen. I want this to be a world where we can all be ourselves and we don't have to identify whether we're liberal or Republican or things like that, because I think that if you listen to people with different views, you can learn so much. You do not need to agree with them, but you can see them as humans and you can see them as something other than the other side. So one of the things that has really impressed me about the audiences of Show and Tell is that I personally started the show because I wanted to meet people. So there are a lot of other people that are in the same situation as me. But there are also, what was really cool is there's the phenomena that I keep getting these like girl groups, these gal pals that are in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s that are out for a night out and this sounds interesting, so I'm going to go. And then they keep coming back. And it's so cool to see people from all different walks of life that are coming to this space to learn something from other people. And yeah, so in talking about media and resistance, I want to create a space where we can talk about things that are not politically charged, which if you're listening in a way that is open, you can learn so much about what is happening in the world. I don't want to talk about it specifically. I want to talk about it in the peripheral. I tend to
In the
shorten.
periph.
In the periph. If you haven't noticed anything, I like to make up my own words. But, okay, so can I also tell you why I like to make up my own words?
Yes, please.
This relates to what we were just talking about. I do not like to subscribe to definitions of words that other people are making up. So, like, I came up with don't be a chard because nobody knows what that means. And so then people pay attention and then it either clicks with you or you think it's stupid. And if you think it's stupid, that is okay. I am okay with that. People either love that joke or think it's so dumb. And what's really funny is that the people that tell me that it's really dumb are only dudes that I was trying to date.
Oh.
And so I'm like, maybe this is a pattern. And I don't know. I am not dating any of them. They ended up being kind of chards, but that's okay. They're just not for me, and that's okay. My core values are that I want to accept people for who they are, and I want to create good and happiness in the world. And I understand that the world is kind of stressful and shitty at times. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying to completely ignore those things, but I'm saying make those conscious decisions. Don't agree with a label that someone has put on you or you put on you because it's easy to get around. Make decisions. Choose for yourself. And so that's why I make up words, because then I get to define what those words actually mean to me.
It also means that you might be a cult leader because...
Okay.
Because I have heard that in the cult leader playbook, you're supposed to create language that people can repeat. So...
oh, no!
So, yeah, just beware.
No, okay.
No, I'm kidding.
What's funny is that, like, with the jobs that I've had in the past, remember how I said there are lots of HR people that force fun on people? Yes. My past jobs have been to be that person, but I've learned enough, don't force fun. Invite people to have fun. And so what's funny is that some of the feedback that I got from like one of my old jobs was like, Mary, all you're doing is serving Kool-Aid. You're just serving the company Kool-Aid. And
also culty.
And exactly. So like, I get it. But if we're talking about surrounding ourselves by people that have the same values, that want good in the world, and that want to make things happen, you have to create some kind of language around that. You have to create an understanding amongst people. So am I starting a cult? I do not want to be known as that. But if it happens, our cult would be founded on not being a chard, number one, making new friends, and helping each other.
Also, what year are you running for president? Because I think this is a good platform for your
no
presidency.
chards, new friends, help each other.
Done.
That's how we change the world.
I appreciate what you're creating because it feels like we almost cannot get away from some of these conversations right now, where it's like my entire podcast feed, all the shows I love to listen to, that guy again, that horrible thing that he did, that friend of that guy again. Even if they're not politics podcasts, like it's just everywhere. My Instagram feed, all the things that enrage me. And I'm not going to Instagram to be enraged. Like that's not why I'm there. And even in public groups, it's like we're hanging out socially and we're talking about fun things. And then the conversation always has to go in that direction because it's so ever present in our psyches right now. And so this was kind of a welcome respite from all of that. Yet at the same time, the other side of that is something that I've been struggling with and I've talked about here on the series is that there's a part of me that feels like the world is on fire. Everything is crumbling. I don't even know what America looks like in 6 months, let alone in 3.5 years from now. How could I possibly choose to go to show and tell for grownups and have conversations about baseball cards and charcuterie boards? Like, how dare I? Like, what a privilege to be able to go to a thing and have fun and talk about things that are not the world crumbling.
Yeah. So I have worked a lot in like the startup community. The reason why I had the audacity or the nerve to start my own company was because I was around all of these founders that have a vision and they start executing it and then they see what happens. In the founder community, resilience is a thing that is talked about a lot. And to me, what that means is that as a founder, everything is on fire all the time. But if you are making something succeed, you need to ignore the fire, embrace the flames, and keep going. Because you need to find the morsels of happiness in there, right? I was talking to a friend of mine who was saying that I'm being really negative about a lot of things. I'm really stressed out, a lot of negativity. And I was told that. And I was like, oh, well, shoot. And so they were like, you are handing me a dead bird right now. And what I need you to do is I need you to see that you have grilled chicken. Think about it. If someone is handing you something and they're saying, I'm handing you a dead bird, that's gross. But if they say, I'm handing you grilled chicken, oh, okay, thank you. It's the same thing. A chicken is a dead bird. You know what I mean? And so it's all about changing your perspective on something. And again, it could sound delusional, and I am very aware of that. I am a very logical person, but I'm a creative, and so I'm a very emotional person. And so I'm constantly dealing with that back and forth of logically, this is happening, but it doesn't feel good. And that's not fun. But logically, can I help anything? I can take care of myself. I can make sure that what I am putting out into the world is making it a better place. I'm not going to ignore the things that are happening around me, but I am going to do my hardest to defend my peace, to create a world around me that is valuable and doing good for others. That's kind of why I think what I'm doing is really important. But no, I so much greatly appreciate that you felt that when you came to the show. One of the other things that as a founder, what I have found with myself and like with everything on fire, yes, political things on fire all the time. The world is so bad. Your Instagram feed is so bad. But like, have you ever deleted Instagram off of your phone for a week? My entire business is run on Instagram. Okay, my entire business has grown because
you are the
of
queen
Instagram.
of Instagram.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Wait, I've made you a cult leader, a president, and a queen all in this one interview.
Oh my gosh. See this world? This is what I'm... No.
Delete Instagram.
Dude, I'm super Midwestern and I was raised very Catholic. So like anything that is prideful is disgusting to me. So all of these things that you are saying to me is gross. But
You can take a shower before you leave.
oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so my friend said that I was being really negative.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes you need to acknowledge that you're being negative and the things that you are observing in the world are super negative. So if you are a person that wants to take a dead bird and turn it into grilled chicken, great, so proud of you. It takes so much work to be able to see the positive side in every situation. But also sometimes what you need to do is just take a break from it. Like, I have a couple of projects that I'm working on right now that I am so deep. I am so in there and I am like strangling it to try to get done with it. The days that I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to throw that in a closet and forget about it for 3 days and then I'll come back. Then I am able to come back with such a refreshed view of everything. And so if the show is nothing else to people than 2 hours of just a refresh, that is the dream. It's a platform that is here to be whatever you want it to be. We kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, is like, what feedback have I gotten from presenters? Some people are like, oh my gosh, I have this crazy collection and I've never gotten to show it to people. I want to show it to people. Thank you for letting me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's so cool. There was one woman in the audience that she has a belt buckle collection.
Oh.
She has like over 270 belt buckles.
Wow.
And she has stories for all of them. She's like, oh yeah, I got it from this thing in the 70s when blah, 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 blah. And like, I was like, you are so cool. One dude that's really into stats, he did a presentation on statistically, what is the best Pokemon?
Oh.
And so we learned about that. We learned so much about Pokemon. Another person talked all about a theory of how the moon was formed and why satellites hate the South Atlantic. We also had a presenter that defended ray gun and why she was in the Olympics and how people interpret it wrong. So she did just like a 2-hour deep dive researching ray gun, and then she came and gave us a 5-minute presentation about how ray gun got to the Olympics. The Australian breakdancer, for anyone that doesn't get it. Anyway, I don't know who I could talk to these topics about. So thank you for creating this platform. But the other thing that I love is that I had one presenter who was a little bit of a risk. We do a little bit of research on each of the presenters before they show up, but I could not find this person on the internet except for that their Instagram, but it was anime and like everything in their feed was a cat or something else. And I was like, I don't know who this person is, but I'm emailing them. They seem like they're gonna be I laid out the rules. I like checked some stuff and I was like, I don't know. She shows up and she's like, I am terrified of public speaking, but I try once a year to do public speaking. So thank you for creating my opportunity to do this year. And she ended up being one of our favorite presenters that night. So feedback from the audience is it creates so many opportunities for so many different people. Whether you're trying to just have a night out that doesn't revolve around drinking, come do that. Whether you want to learn new things, meet new people, come do that. So the platform is there for whatever you need it to be, as long as you agree to the rules of don't be a chard, meet new friends, and teamwork.
You keep saying like, it's the dream. And there's so many things that you want to do with this platform. So let's dream for a moment.
Oh my gosh.
Dream sequence.
Yes. Wayne's World. Sorry.
Don't get me in trouble with copyright infringement.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. The show is a live show. It happens a few times a month in different venues right now in Chicago. So what's coming up in your dream space from here?
In the live show, it is such an amazing community builder. It is so wonderful to get these people in a room and to have conversations that are fun and entertaining with no real agenda other than meeting new people. And so one of my goals is to bring that to as many places as I can. I mean, because we're in the Midwest, like I want to go to Wisconsin, I want to go to Michigan, but like ultimately I want to bring it so that I can have satellite shows in every city, like in every state, because I can find this many people in Chicago that are interested and willing to share something that they're passionate about and to just be nice to an entire room of people for a day. Like, let's do that more. Mm-hmm. So I want to expand to different cities. Another thing that I'm doing is that the presentations are very good. So I am recording all of these presentations. And so the goal is to make a YouTube series. And then if we are going down that route a little bit more, I am a performer. I am a director. I am a writer.
In case you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's maybe. So I want to be able to dive into some of these people's really niche hobbies, niche interests, and like dive into it. Let's go experience it. So my dream is to do you remember in the 90s? Or no, sorry, not in the 90s, but the early aughts, I think.
Okay.
Or maybe it was early 10s. But there was a show on MTV that was called Made. My dream is to find these people that are really passionate about some niche thing that have always wanted to try it or whatever, and then make the connections to go and do that thing. So like if you are a person that is like a really enthusiastic train hobbyist and you have model trains and you know everything about the things, I want to take you and other train enthusiasts to go to a place to talk to the people that make the, I don't know, things of that sort. So that is a TV show that I'm wanting to put together. Yeah, I'm also trying to put together a podcast so that we can bring all of these cool people together to have really interesting conversations, because as maybe you saw at the show, the audiences have really great questions.
Great questions.
And sometimes we go on such random tangents, and they are things that I could not take us down. And so I want to bring some of these really smart people that have been presenters, and I want to put them together in a room, and I want to say, hey, we're going to talk about this topic. What can you bring from your astrophysicist? What about you from your years and years of hospitality? What can you from your medical background? Let's all have a conversation about this one topic and see where it goes. So those are a couple of my ideas.
You had briefly mentioned some feelings of negativity that some people in your world were noticing.
Yeah.
Some struggles as a creative entrepreneurial founder. So there's the typical stuff that's hard about starting a new venture. There's the typical stuff that's hard about being a creative person who is putting something that you're passionate about out into the world in some kind of very visible space. And then there's also the challenge of the moment that we're in right now in the world, in this country. And so I'm curious for you, when some of these struggles and challenges come up, when you have days where you're like, I don't want to do this, what do you do for yourself? Like, how do you refresh and get back into that vibe and just keep going when it feels like the struggle is too much?
Yeah. This is so crazy that I am currently working on this in so many ways. Sometimes what helps me is to distract myself with something else, which is not a good coping mechanism. Don't say that this is the way to do things, but sometimes it helps so much to distract yourself with something else and put a pin in what you're worried about. You can come back to it. Know that you can come back to it. But if you just distract yourself with something else for a little bit, it can bring you back to it with such a refreshed mindset. My thing right now is I will be at my desk and I will be in a project and I'll be like, okay, you need to eat. So let's go cook something and let's put on a cheesy romance novel audiobook. That is what I do. Some people, again, could say that that's dissociating. Okay, cool. Well, it's a tactic that works as long as you do it in a way that is healthy and that you're not just completely removing yourself from the world. I mean, that's good. Another thing that I do is I try something new. Doesn't matter what it is. Just try something new, because if you put effort in a different direction, then that feels good. Like there was one day that I was struggling so much with a problem and I was just like, I need to do something. I am a person that does not take the time to do arts and crafts. I don't. I have tried so much, Andrea. I have bought the paint. I have purchased this. I have a sewing machine at my parents' house because I took one class in college that was a sewing thing. And my mom was like, she's going to be a seamstress. So this is all your Christmas is just sewing things. And I try to get into hobbies, but I am so bad at following through with any hobbies because I get so distracted and I get back into whatever I'm working on. So trying something new. One day I was really stressed out, put on a movie, and I pulled out, I literally have an entire box under my bed of all of the art supplies that I've collected over the last however many years. I pulled that out. I haven't opened it probably in 5 years. I've moved it to like 4 different apartments, but I have not, I pulled it out. I had a canvas that I literally found by the dumpster. I pulled out the paint and I ripped up a bag, put it on my, I'm just like, I'm going to start painting things. I don't have a purpose, but I'm going to start painting. And then I sat and I painted while watching a Disney movie. And it was amazing because it was trying something new. And I learned how to mix colors together. And I learned how to, like, again, I do a lot of deep dives in TikTok or Instagram or even YouTube. And it's like, I've never tried any of those things before. So now I'm starting to make a list of things to try. And I want to try them. So I'm going to do it. So my advice to anybody, when you are really bogged down and feeling real shitty or stressed out, what's something you've always wanted to try? Have you never had a poppy soda? Go find one, a flavor that you normally wouldn't have. Go try it. It might be gross, but then you know. I don't know. This is not sponsored by
Not
Poppy.
sponsored by Poppy.
But I mean, Poppy, if you do want to sponsor me, like, I'm into it. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not, but okay. You asked, how do I do this when there's so much going on in the world? And like, I don't want to make a political statement with what I'm doing right now, because I think that there are so many people that are being so aggressively political that it's like, let's get back to the root of who we are as humans, right? What makes us us? When there was a lot of trans hate going on in the world, I was making a reel that was like a recap. So I just like pick videos from different shows and I put them into a reel and I put that out on Instagram. And this just so happened to be when there was a lot of trans hate. And I looked at the reel that I had just ironically put together from grabbing presenters from all over the place, putting them in one recap reel. And I realized that every presenter was a trans person. And I was like, this is so cool. I'm not going to call it out because that's not what they're here for. They are here because one of them was really in love with bugs and he wanted to teach us about his bug collection. He then also did another presentation about banana flavoring. We also had somebody during Women's History Month talked about developments in medical transformations. Like, they're people. It's not political. It's a human. It's a human life. But yes, so we've had people be a human on the stage talking about something that they humanly are very into. So finding common ground, super important, because we're all humans at the end of the day, unless we're not. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. Don't strike. That's the other thing in my feed right now is all the AI. I'm like, no, I can't with the AI.
Yeah. And that's a whole, okay, so I'm in the tech industry, right? I like came up in the tech world. And so there is the artist in me that is like, AI is going to take over all of art and that's stupid. And then there's the tech person that's like, yeah, but if you want to go faster, using AI is amazing. As an artist, I'm like, do I want there to be an AI that can be my face, that can be my voice? No. But as a content creator, I'm like, oh my God, if I could tell a robot how to say all of the things that I actually mean and to make it sound really good instead of how I would normally fumble my way through it, like, I don't know. Part of me is like, that would be so cool. But I value human interaction, but I also value perfection.
For the record, I do not want your AI chatbot on my podcast. I only want the real Mary, no chatbots.
Fair.
No chatbots. That's going to be my...
Got it. Heard.
Yeah.
No, I
no
want
chatbot guests on the Creative Imposter. Although chatbot
shoot.
imposters. Oh God. So I do want to give one little plug.
Oh yeah.
Because Tuesday, August 12th,
Okay.
I'm gonna be doing show and tell for grown-ups.
Oh my gosh! As you're saying this, I'm like, okay, what am I doing on Tuesday, August 12th? I'm like, oh, I have a show on August 12th. Huh,
Yeah.
I wonder what she's gonna plug because I can't plug
I'm
the same
doing
thing.
your show.
She's gonna be on my show. She'll come to the show. Yeah, sorry, keep going. You can do the plug. I won't do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Snakes and Ladders, I think.
Lattes.
Snakes and ladders.
lattes.
Shoots and ladders.
Yeah.
Snakes and lattes.
It's a play on that.
I screwed it up. It's gonna be, wait, what's it called? Snakes and lattes.
Snakes and Lattes. It's a board game bar in Bucktown.
You may drink a latte. You do not need to climb a ladder. And hopefully there are no snakes.
Facts. I do not know of them.
And my 5-minute talk is going to be about something that I do professionally, which is sound design. But it's a funny story that is something that I learned that I didn't know. So I think it's called What's the Problem with Crickets? So yeah, I'll leave that to your imagination as to what that all entails. But
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where you can find tickets is linked in my Instagram bio, which is at tellmewhyit'scool_show. That's the Instagram. In my link tree are tickets for Snakes and Lattes on the 12th. If you are in the Chicagoland area and you want to sign up to be a presenter, the link for presenter sign up is also in there in my link tree bio.
Yeah. Thanks for not sending your AI chatbot for this conversation.
Oh, yeah. No. I wouldn't do that. And I don't ever want to be known for saying that that's okay because I don't think it's okay. But the business owner that is trying to get too many things done all at once sees it. I don't want it, but I see it.
On that note, thank you all for joining us for Creativity and Media as Resistance. It's not always serious. Sometimes it's fun. If you want more Creativity and Media as Resistance, of course, most Thursdays at 3 p.m. Central, we'll be streaming live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram when it plays nicely and when Mary does her offering to the meta gods. And the replays are all available on YouTube and LinkedIn. And the edited versions that are audio only are available in the Creative Imposter podcast feed on your favorite podcast app. Thank you, Mary Doctor, once again for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I was so excited to be a part of this. It's wonderful to see other people building something that is meaningful and purposeful and really well produced. So let's give it for Andrea and Edwin.
The Creative Imposter is hosted, produced, and edited by me, Andrea Klunder. Our theme music is by Jovia Armstrong. Please find the resources and links mentioned in our show notes in the episode description in your app. To learn more about how we can help you with your audio-forward content strategy or production, visit thecreativeimposter.com. This week, I'm inviting you to come see Mary and me in Chicago, Tuesday, August 12. And if you can't make it, that's okay. You can still participate. The next time somebody's being a jerk, try telling them, hey, don't be a chard.